We are very glad to have your company tonight, joining you straight from the heart of Africa, Kigali. My name is Sam Kalisa. And as I kick it off with our top story tonight, President Paul Kagame has called on leaders to be characterized by actions that provide solutions to issues affecting citizens. The head of state made the remarks while presiding over the swearing-in ceremony of Dr. Kalinda Francois-Xavier, who was elected the president of the Rwandan Senate. Adam Squizera starts us off tonight with this report.
Njewe Kalinda Francois-Xavier.
After taking the oath of his new responsibility as the Senate President, Dr. Kalinda Francois-Xavier expressed gratitude to the President of the Republic and assured not to disappoint his trust. He reiterated that his agenda will be marked by the collaboration with other institutions for the development of Rwandans.
Nagira ngo mbashimire nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika.
I would like to thank the President of the Republic for the trust you gave me to be among the senators, and I want to assure you that I will not disappoint this trust, as that I will fulfill my responsibilities as I stated in my oath, as I'm willing to cooperate with other institutions in order to serve well the Rwandans as well as developing them. President Paul Kagame urged him to establish a working system which produces solutions. The head of state also urged other officials to be characterized by implementing their duties for the good of citizens. If you can speed up and take 100 steps a day, we should not be limited to 60. Instead, we should reach up to those 100 steps because it is possible. We don't have to always keep things in words because we talk a lot, and many times it remains constant, and there should be something which may not be representable. Those good words, and that time we talk about what we are going to work, and finally leads to poor production. When you look at the results and you find that it's not matching with the promise you gave to people or what you told them that you are going to do. President Kagame also highlighted some of the issues that have been affecting citizens for a long time but not solved, pointing out the issues of public transport, tax burden, and poor customer service as areas that need urgent fixing. I heard that there is a problem in transportation, that the people don't travel easily, and they told me that there is a problem, and I have heard this from the people, but no one who is in charge raised it. Maybe you are aware of it or not, but go and follow it up and then find out the issue and its solution as well. There are other problems they told me, which are about taxation, on how taxes slows down the investment or the private sector as well. Then I don't know why it can't be examined and not the reason behind. And I think it's understandable the reason why people pay tax, as that I don't think that we still have that perception problem. But instead that the tax lowers, they hike them. Then it doesn't mean that burdening tax gives you much taxes. The head of state also reiterated on the unnecessary exterior travels made by different officials, which causes some loss. When I see these officials traveling abroad, I want to put a brake on it, to slow it down and allow those who deserve to travel. Prime Minister, do you understand me? Because there are two things. When you travel on the government budget. The second thing is to that you spend the time you should be doing other things. For the people who will be traveling, they will first explain about their travel and then evaluate the interest of that travel to the country. Dr. Kalinda Francois-Xavier, who soon as the President of the Senate replaced Dr. Auguste Yamuremye, who recently resigned due to the health reasons. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Still on the swearing-in ceremony of the newly elected Senate President, Prince Manzi filed a profile on Dr. Francois-Xavier Kalinda, 60 years old, who is a former member of the East African Legislative Assembly. You do have more in this report.
The President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Kagame, on the 6th of January 2023, appointed Dr. François-Xavier Kalinda as a senator in the Senate of Rwanda. Senator Dr. Kalinda was appointed following the resignation of the former Senate President, Dr. Augustin Yamuremye, on the 8th December 2022, stating health concerns. On Monday, Dr. François-Xavier Kalinda, sworn in as a senator and unanimously elected as the President of the Senate of Rwanda by fellow senators. Dr. François-Xavier Kalinda, 60 years old, is one of the 9 Rwandans that completed their term as deputies representing Rwanda in the East Africa Legislative Assembly. He joined this assembly in 2015 as a deputy given by the PSD, Parti Social Democrate, political party, replacing Honorable Celestin Kabahizi, who resigned. Dr. François-Xavier Kalinda was born in Kitabi, Nyamagabe district in the southern province. The newly elected Senate President holds a doctorate of philosophy degree in business law obtained in Strasbourg, France in 2010. In 1996, Dr. Kalinda obtained his bachelor's degree from the University of Rwanda, and in 1999 obtained his master's degree from the University of Ottawa in Canada. He also has a diploma in legal practice obtained from the Institute of Legal Practice and Development in Nyanza campus. Dr. Kalinda was a lecturer for many years in the University of Rwanda that he, from time to time, became the head of its law department. As per the Rwanda's constitution of 2003 that was revised in 2015, the mandate of senators is 5 years that can be adjusted once. The Senate of Rwanda consists of 26 senators, including 12 representatives of the 4 provinces and the Kigali city, 8 that are appointed by the President of the Republic, 4 appointed by the National Consultative Forum of Political Organizations, and 2 senators representing higher learning institutions, both public and private. Prince Manzi, All TV News.
The government of Rwanda has urged the international community to change their perspective on the political instability and war in eastern DRC, as Rwanda will not continue to carry the Congolese burden. Prince Manzi continues.
The ongoing insecurity in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo seems to be of high interest to the international community, to the extent the considered powerful nations openly sided with the DRC to blame game its political instability to Rwanda. Nevertheless, the United Nations experts report revealed that the DRC is behind its own insecurity, as its army collaborates with the militias that destabilize the Congolese population, including the FDLR. According to President Paul Kagame, it is not understandable how the international community continues to be an obstacle.
The group of experts write so many things in their report. Some blamed on Rwanda, others blamed on DRC. But somehow, in the end, the story emerges, no, what people are interested in are those things being said about Rwanda. What is being said about DRC is, you know, well, we told the DRC to tell those people who are involved in hate speech, but it is not just hate speech. They are even killing people. Up to this day, we are receiving refugees. Yesterday, there were refugees crossing the border coming into Rwanda as a result of that, just yesterday. I'm sure there will be more today. And for that, people say, you know, we have told them, you know, to tone down their language. And then DRC jumps up and says, oh, you know, you must do this to Rwanda, you must do this to Rwanda. They tell the European Union, they're telling you, yes, you have to do this to Rwanda. Do what to Rwanda? For what? For having done what?
The President of the Republic said this in the swearing-in of Dr. François-Xavier Kalinda, who was recently appointed as the senator and on Monday unanimously elected as the Senate President. President Paul Kagame stressed on the tricks that the DRC government uses to continue the spreading of lies. The Rwanda is behind the insecurity issues of Congo.
That is the DRC saying, we can't speak to M23. They are terrorists. Your own citizens are terrorists, fine. Go sort it out in your place. But are the 80,000 refugees who are here and more coming every day since this situation started, these ordinary men, women, children, are they terrorists? You're telling me they're terrorists? By the way, they say they won't talk to them, they want to do this, and some people support that they shouldn't talk to them. And then they add, no, but if we are to talk to them, we shall talk to them secretly so that nobody knows that we are talking to them. I mean, so that it continues to be my problem. It continues to be Rwanda's problem.
This is where the President of the Republic urged the international community to change their perspective on this issue.
No, but first of all, this is not Rwanda's problem. And we are going to ensure that everybody realizes that it is not Rwanda's problem. And starting with saying, those who think it is Rwanda's problem and not Congo's, first of all, remove these Congolese from here. Those who are coming in every day just on the actions of government and institutions, you tell me government is not functioning properly or this, or that's still none of my business. If it is to be my business, it is yours also, meaning the international community. These are the ones I'm addressing. I'm preparing you, those who take care of the world. They must understand this is a problem that must be addressed among others.
Analysts on the DRC issues iterate that the political instability in the east of this country cannot be solved if the DRC government has no will in discussing with all parties in this for a sustainable resolution. Prince Manzi, All TV News.
To matters related to education, on Monday, 9th January 2023, students started their second term. Under the new schooling hours, students were usually required to arrive at school at 7 a.m. and begin classes at 7:20 a.m. And moving forward, they will be required to arrive at school at 8:30 a.m. and classes start at 8:45 a.m. Betty Mutani breaks it down.
On 11th November 2022, the cabinet meeting announced the change in the hours that students were supposed to report at school. Students were usually required to arrive at school at exactly 7 a.m. and begin classes at 7:20 a.m.
The hours set by the government of starting 8:30. It is understood that the teacher will be able to wake up well prepared and arrive at school on time. And he even gets time to prepare what he is going to teach. That helps him to be well prepared.
You would see a child in the morning coming to school that it was difficult even to clean them. There were times you would meet a mother taking her sleepy baby in the kindergarten. This is going to be beneficial in so many ways. While opening the second term, some of the students arrived at school on time, but some were late, as it is explained by their principals.
It does not eliminate the fact that they are latecomers, even though the starting hours of classes have been increased. There are some latecomers, especially those who study in secondary schools, and you find that they come from nearby, but you find that they arrive late. Even among the teachers themselves, there are latecomers who do not come on time, so I think we should increase our efforts.
Although this change made the teachers very excited, parents had different perceptions about this change. As a parent, this is going to be difficult for me. If I would wake up at 5 a.m. and make breakfast for my child, that I might end up sleeping because time has been increased. A child who studies in the morning comes home at 12:30 p.m. and had lunch at school. He has time to rest for an hour and wake up to revise her books. Don't you think that child has rested enough? In my opinion, a child should arrive at school at 6:30 a.m., revise and start class at 7 a.m.
As a parent, I will cook for him, get him a drink, and he will go at school when he is okay. He will have enough rest. As well as I will get time to take him to school, and on my way back, I will be able to bring him back home. I know that he has no problem. I will take him home myself.
The Director General of Rwanda Education Board, Dr. Nelson Barushimana, says that time given to parents to take care of children should be varied.
This time should be a good time to reach out them. Always find out if the mother is smart, trustworthy, not drug addicted, loving, they're exemplary to their child. They will be like their parents when they grow. Therefore, it makes it easier for us at school when they are nurtured at home. Parents should take this as a goal to talk to their children because they report to school.
The cabinet meeting sat on 11th November 2022 and decided that school hours will be from 8:30 a.m. to exactly 5 p.m. Betty Mutoni, RwandaTV News.
President Paul Kagame has consoled children who were involved in a school bus accident in Kigarama sector, Kicukiro district on Monday morning. According to the Rwanda Traffic Police, 25 children, the bus driver and a teacher were injured in this accident.
The President of the Republic of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, stated this through his Twitter account following the accident of the bus carrying students of Path to Success Primary School who were heading to school to begin the second term of the 2022-2023 academic year. The local citizens who were around explained how all this happened. I was there in the counter and then I saw that bus raking down there, but I think the issue was in its tires. According to the traffic police, 25 children, the bus driver and teacher were injured in the accident. The spokesperson for Traffic and Road Safety, SSP Irene Rene, pointed out that they began the investigation to determine the cause of this accident, even though it is suspected that the bus was carrying a number higher than its restricted passenger capacity. There are some parents who took children back home, especially those who weren't severely injured in this accident. The bus has 29 seats plus the driver seat, making it 30 for the fact that this bus had many children. Some parents requested the authorities should inspect the standards of their school buses. The police should establish serious restrictions for that it's a problem to how comes a bus carry over 40 passengers. President of the Republic, Paul Kagame, sent a message of comfort to the families of students involved in this accident. SSP Irene further stressed that the issue of substandard school buses is going to be addressed soon. We've been discussing by some authorities about this issue. I mean the Ministry of Education, NESA, BET Rural, as to that even on this last Saturday, we had a meeting on Webex, as that there are some points we agreed on. Officials at the University Teaching Hospital of Kigali, CHUK, said that they received 17 people, including the driver and teacher, as most of them sustained minor injuries, and one child was transferred for a surgical operation. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
And still on this report, on a sad note, the latest news indicate that one of the 25 students that was involved in this accident passed on this evening at the hospital, and may he rest in peace. Moving ahead to other matters, about 73 cases were settled through mediation instead of regular court hearings, saving over 11 billion in the value of those cases in the 2021-2022 judicial year. Jessica Gasaro has this report.
Losing time and money to go to court to sue and litigate is one of the problems expressed by Mujawindegeya Grace, who was beaten by her husband and who is imprisoned in Majerejere prison, and Kabanda Mustafa, who has an inheritance problem between him and his brothers. He beats me to death because I asked him for the neighbor's equipment. That is why he beat me. His court hearing was scheduled on the 4th March 2024, but if he apologized to me in front of a mediator, I would forgive him without any problem.
I have lost a lot in this case for more than 7 years. And every day I spend a lot of money. If we could have a mediation and have a way to solve this problem in uniting and understanding each other, because we are fighting over the inheritance of our parents.
In the judicial year 2021/2022, there were 73 cases resolved through mediation, from 43 in 2019/2020, which is valued at over 11 billion Rwandan francs, that was served, as explained court spokesperson Mutabazi Harrison.
They can also decide that he can be the mediator, and when they accept that he's going to be the mediator, then he will take off his judging gown and all this and retire either to their bench, to their chambers, or elsewhere, or a mediation room, and then he will proceed with the mediation. When the case is settled, and then definitely it will register as a mediated case. So if it doesn't settle, then the case will be given to another judge. That judge that presided over in mediation cannot go through it again in a trial, in a normal trial.
Ibambe Jean-Paul, a lawyer at the Legal Aid Forum, says that the mediation is the answer to all aspects, including reducing prison overcrowding that is currently at 174%.
Plea bargaining is an agreement that is between the prosecutor and the defendant. Actually, the criminal procedure in its Article 26 and 27 says it's initiated by the prosecutor. The prosecutor can ask the defendant if he's willing to plead guilty for benefits of a reduction of the sentences that would have asked from court. Some crimes that were supposed to be sought to be pressed on the defendant in the court. So when this agreement is reached between the prosecutor and the defendant, it's brought in the court, and then the court will make an analysis.
Encouraging the defendant to confess their crime started in Majerejere prison, where in October last year there were 30 cases of prisoners who were interviewed, and 26 of them went home that day because they used the mediation process, as explained the court spokesperson Mutabazi Harrison.
One of the results is just maybe a reduction in terms of the sentences that they are going just to request the judge. So with the endorsement of the agreement between the prosecution and the defendant, the accused, so as a result, we end up having few people going to prison because of the sentences. There are some suspended sentences, fine.
The chairperson of the Court Mediation Advisory Committee, Professor Sam Rugeje, reiterates that the reason why the number of people who chooses mediation is not high as it should be is that there are people who have too much faith in a formal litigation, and the problem of some lawyers discouraging their client from choosing mediation because it is not beneficial to the lawyers as it is to the citizens.
More importantly, to promote good neighborliness and working together, whether in business, whether as neighbors, even within families, because we know that a lot of cases are from disputes between siblings or husband and wife and people like that. So mediation in its nature is private, it is confidential. When people come to mediation, they are just with their mediator. There is no public like it is in the courts. So it encourages them to be free to speak out, to talk about their problems and try to understand each other, to see what are the real interests of each party and how can they resolve it.
The 2021/2022 Judiciary Performance Report shows that on the average, at least one case takes 10 months to go on trial. Jessica Agasaro, RTV News.
And on behalf of the entire news production, as well as the technical team that made it happen, thank you for being with us on this edition of Rwanda Television News. Stay safe and have a fruitful week ahead.